Hello, and welcome back to Be the Burning One podcast. I'm Tanya J. Williams, and I am here to fan into flame the gifts that God has already placed inside of you. Today's episode is actually brought to you by me. I am going to be reading from my book, Choosing That Better Part. And this is my first time reading this publicly, but I felt like this is the best place to bring it, for you to get a little bit of an insight into who and why Be the Burning One is so significant to me. And I pray that it bless you and encourage you. Hello, beautiful one, and welcome back to the podcast. So I'm doing something a little different. As I already told you in the introduction, I'm going to be reading the introduction from my book. This is my book, Choosing That Better Part, Reframing the Past to Reveal How God Has Already Equipped You for Today. I will say that I'm just going to read it how I feel it. So for those of you that already have copies of the book, it's not going to be exact. I actually do have some edits that I would like to make. Haven't done that yet. But this is my book, so I can read it. I can have a conversation somewhere in the middle of the chapter if I so choose. But anyhow, I'm just going to jump right in, and I pray that this bless you. The introduction. Thank you for coming in today. With an outstretched arm, the doctor motioned toward the exam table and offered, "Would you like to have a seat?" Smiling, I politely declined. "No, thank you. I think better on my feet." She turned to her left to pick up the manila folder that rested on the dull gray laminate counter. Just to her right was a large window that allowed the full brilliance of the sun's southern exposure to illuminate the entire exam room. The dusty fake chrysanthemum flowers that sat on the equally dusty wooden stand tucked in the corner of the room were meant to add some semblance of cheerfulness to the space. They failed. The doctor slowly turned to face me. Her demeanor was noticeably solemn as she opened the folder. Glancing at my face and then back at the folder, she asked, "Are you Tanya J. Williams?" "Yes, I am." She moved closer to show the top half of the report. Pointing to the box labeled date of birth, she asked, "Is this—" She swallowed. "Is this your date of birth?" Looking at the month, day, and year printed within the designated space, it did in fact match my birth date. I affirmed it to be correct and waited to see what she would say next. With obvious reluctance, she flipped the page. "I'm sorry. It's cancer." Momentarily stunned, I averted my eyes to look out the window. Her words just did not seem real. Yes, I was stunned, but not afraid. I was perplexed, not angry. I wasn't even disappointed. In the momentary pause, I asked God a question. "Lord, how do you get glory out of this situation, with cancer being in my body?" It's true. My thought process started with wonderment, gratitude, and awe for all of the ways that God had been equipping me in advance for that very moment. Wait, what? Did she just say gratitude? Yes, you read right. You heard right. While looking out the window of that exam room, I was awestruck. God had been walking with me through every life challenge and had used every one of them as preparation for this thing that I did not see coming. The preparation or equipping was not just for a cancer diagnosis. He had consistently used the many issues life sent my way to grow my faith muscles that drew me into wanting to know him more. And ultimately, it caused me to become fully convinced that God was able to do what he promised. Beautiful one, the many challenges you have experienced were not wasted days, weeks, months, or even years. You have been equipped. Please don't hear what I'm not saying. I am not saying that cancer or any other disease is in your future. What I am saying is that your good, kind, loving Heavenly Father has been walking with you, strengthening you all through all of your life's journey. He's been with you through all of your successes and failures, the good and the bad relationships, and everything in between. When you weren't thinking about him, he was there. Even when you were not aware of his presence, he was still there. All of the things that you have already experienced are significant pieces of the firm foundation that has been laid within you. There will be storms in life, but a life that has been built on a solid foundation will not be shaken by the things that are yet to come. I tend to see the majority of life's problems as hiccups. And any of those things that don't fit inside of the majority bucket, I categorize as an inconvenience. Please stay with me as I explain why I use this kind of language. Have you ever noticed how hiccups just seem to randomly show up? It is impossible to anticipate their arrival. No one intentionally invites the hiccups to the party. And so here's a question. Does anyone actually know just how long the hiccups last? I don't think so, but it is pretty amazing to me that you can go about doing life in maybe several years without ever experiencing the hiccups. But as soon as they show up, you have officially been interrupted. Am I right? You try to carry on as you were, but at irregular intervals, your body has that involuntary reaction that releases the familiar hic sound. So what do? You pretty much wait it out. You live with it because you know it won't last forever. True, I guess there are some remedies out there, but most of the time, you wait it out. I got another question for you. Have you ever tried to talk through a hiccup? Sure, it can be done, but you end up sounding a little bit like a snoring baby elephant. Or maybe I'm the only one. Well, much like the hiccups, problems can show up at random times. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines a problem as a source of perplexity, distress, or vexation. Most of the problems you encounter happen through no fault of your own, but your life is temporarily interrupted as a result. You were in the middle of doing one thing and then whammo, something else showed up and hijacked your attention for a certain period of time. Occasionally, these problems, aka hiccups, might even cause you to feel physically uncomfortable, which simply adds another layer of depth to that interruption. So I believe that when a hiccup brings 3 or more layers, you have now entered into the realm of inconvenience. I attempted to speak that in the voice of Rod Serling of the Twilight Zone and failed miserably. But hey, for those of you that are old enough to know, you know. So let me give you an example. Suppose you need to take a quick trip to the grocery store because you're missing one or two ingredients of a meal that you want to prepare. You grab your keys, you hop into the car, and you assume that you're going to be out and back in no time because the store is only a 5-minute drive from your house. But unbeknownst to you, a power line has been knocked down, and it's lying across the street that you would normally take to go to the store. Therefore, they had to set up a detour. You were redirected to drive through parts of the neighborhood that you rarely see, or maybe you've never seen. But on top of that, you're rerouted to that one road that you usually avoid because of the railroad crossing. So instead of what was supposed to be a 15-minute run to the store and back, it's now been extended to over 30 minutes because, of course, you had to wait on the trains to cross. Sorry, I had to pause there. Oh, but wait, there's more. That ingredient that you went to the store to buy in the first place, or those ingredients, excuse me, they're sold out. And so now you have to drive to another store even further away. You had a plan. The plan got interrupted. You were made to go in a direction that you usually avoid. You were forced to wait. And what you thought would be available to you that's normally there was not. You had to make a choice. You're going to go further out of your way, or are you going to make a pivot and it's going to be pizza? Well, you were inconvenienced. Yes, please hear me. I get it. Cancer is way more inconvenient than your dinner being delayed. Calling any trying circumstance inconvenient is not denying the presence. I'm not denying the severity of some of life's problems. But when you can call it inconvenient and knowing that it's overcomable, it demotes it to a place of rank within your mindset. Please understand this truth. The way you think about a thing has the greatest influence on how you overcome a thing. Losing a job is inconvenient. Raising a child with special needs is inconvenient. A cancer diagnosis, the treatment of that cancer, and just everything that goes along with it, yes, that too is inconvenient. Losing yet another job while still on the cancer journey is majorly inconvenient. Every one of these examples, yes, is time consuming. There are layers upon layers to work through. But I want you to know this. All of those layers are part of the equipping that I spoke of earlier. They are really big inconveniences. They have their challenges, but they are not impossible to navigate, especially when you come to understand that they serve a greater purpose. Just so you know, those 4 examples that I gave you, I didn't just make that up. I let you see a little bit into my life. Every one of those have brought inconveniences to my life. Beautiful one, what you may not recognize right this moment is that this kind of preparation is ultimately a gift to your future self and to others. My hope is that after reading this book, you will be able to see that all of the things that you have endured, all of the hiccups, and all of the inconveniences have been and are still working out for your good and God's glory. I'm praying that you will see God as a good and faithful Father who can be trusted no matter what. It is also my hope that you'll take the time to regularly review your journey with Him. Ask the Father to show you the many ways that He's prepared and equipped you to overcome the challenges of the past, as well as the ones yet to come. He has been, He is, and always will be on the journey with you. And I will end with one of my favorite scriptures from John chapter 16, verse 33. I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulations, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Until next time, beautiful one, peace.